I really like law school. It's not that I didn't work hard, but I just had a good time in law school. And my reasons for being in law school were I'd run for mayor, as you heard earlier, and I lost. But I wasn't able to do what my white counterparts did, and that is go back to the law firm and continue life. So I decided that I would go to law school, which was right around the corner from my house at the time in the church. And the first thing I found out at the first night of class is that it takes more than just a motivation to have a job to get through law school, because law school was pretty tight. And I think the founding fathers of this law school, at that time there weren't any women involved, I suspect, decided that this was going to be a really good law school, and certain things were not going to happen. For example, even though the evening division was perfect for me, and I was a family man, had children, etc., have children, but the evening division was very, very, very tailor-made for me. But the uniqueness of my situation was that most of the fellas that I knew were fellas that were working in the Rizzo administration. So, you know, it took a while for us to jail. And the same thing happened incidentally when it came time to study for the bar. Those guys wanted me to come up in the far northeast to study with them. I said, I need a bodyguard. But as Jimmy DeLeon indicated earlier, him and I had gone down to Washington, and I was listening to Jimmy, being guided by Jimmy, and we brought the charter back from Howard University. And at the same time we brought the charter back, I was elected as a division delegate to the American Bar Association, because the dean at that time was Dean Weeks, and I think he had some experience in starting another law school, because he felt very strongly about the law school being known throughout the country, and they were having some difficulty getting it approved. So he suggested that, and I don't know whether he suggested me, but the guys from Northeast Philadelphia, since they heard that I had run for office, they decided that I was going to be the person, the candidate. And so we had, it was a mid-year meeting, and we went to Atlanta and went through our campaigning, etc. But the joke on me throughout the next 3 years was that on the plane, I just said it because this is the way I felt. I said, "What am I running for?" And they said, "Oh, God, man." "Come on, Brown." I said, but we prevailed. And it wasn't, when I say I had fun in law school, I really did, because I was in a plane every weekend. I don't know how I got out of here. For 2 years, every weekend we were in a plane going somewhere, reading the law student division, because there was some concern on the boss's part that I wasn't doing enough for them, because the student bar was like the national bar, not the national bar, but the student bar association certainly wasn't BALSA. In fact, I think Pat Long from the University of Massachusetts and myself were the first two African-American division delegates. And the division delegates are sort of unique because they sit on the board of delegates of the area where they're from. For example, I was on Wilmington's board of delegates, and as a matter of fact, had a vote on the board of delegates. So it was kind of unique, and it was really, really, really an experience. As we said earlier, there weren't that many African Americans on campus, but we came all of a sudden in 1974, 75, and I suspect that it hasn't slowed down since then. My practice, as a matter of fact, I'm about to retire, and I'm involved in a murder case right now, and hopefully we're going to prevail. Or else you'll starve if you don't. But in any event, I found the experience here extremely gratifying. And whenever you go into any of the courtrooms in Chester County or Philadelphia County, you're always going to see a Widener graduate. They are really putting out lawyers here. And also, although, well, one of my pet peeves, I'm on the board of trustees at Lincoln University, and one of my pet peeves is that a lot of our persons, African-American students, have some difficulty with standardized exams. And so I've been the fellow who's always trying to encourage a course in specializing so we don't have as many persons fail the bar exam, for example, or any standardized exams that's been going on for some time. I think that the problem of course, the standardized exams are not necessarily a strike against us. It's just some things that we have to do that we haven't done in the past. And one of them, of course, always is work hard. But I think there's some other things that need to be specialized on in terms of standardized exams. And the students out there can be much more successful. And you got to keep that in mind and just persevere. And I think you do very, very well. You certainly are a part of a law school with quite a leadership through Dean Evans. And I think you probably will notice when you get out here into the world of the law. Of course, there's quite a few people here this evening that are part of the judiciary. But in any event, I really felt that my opportunity to come to this law school was unique for me. It probably was a major milestone in my life. It didn't start off well because Dean Evans, who I think was to the right of Genghis Khan, it was very much to the right. And then Dean Weeks may not have been that much to the right, but he certainly wasn't in the middle. But Dean Evans really was an excellent professor, as a matter of fact, even though we all knew what his grit was. But he turned out to be, well, we won't talk about how he lost the law school, but he turned out to be quite an intellectual. And but it was simply politics that kept the school from getting its accreditation for a while. And I think that's why they soundly and concisely got rid of it. But in any event, I think you guys are in a special situation, and God bless you, and be well. Thank you.